Oh, hello.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I have a BBC News notification. It is Wednesday, it's 8 p.m, the 21st of March, and we have myself. I'm Alan Braithwaite, and you are...
I don't know who I am today.
Or Emily Braithwaite. We have to say, it's been slightly tough with the kids today.
Hence the buckets of gin.
I've already drunk mine.
Yeah.
Hence the buckets of gin. So tough day with the kids. Probably more to do with the fact that we were both a bit tired. But tough day with the kids, celebrating with a gin. But that's okay. We have a fantastic Ask an Expert this evening, don't we, my darling?
I don't know, we've not done it yet.
No, that's true. It's live and off the cuff, and it depends on who asks what, etc. So we've got Hannah and Kerry watching. That's fab. We're going to talk about you in a minute, Hannah. So fantastic that you're on, and Kerry and a few others. Emily, what have you been up to this week?
Wow, Alan, it just so happens.
Who were you interviewed by today?
I happen to be today interviewed by Women's Own magazine.
How fantastic's that?
Apparently.
My nan reads it, but I mean she's dead, but ignore that. But my older people read it.
I was contacted by Women's Own magazine today, and I had about 45 minutes on the phone with him.
You were on there for a while, weren't you?
Because as a working mum with 3 kids, whatever, they wanted to do a feature on me to go in this week's magazine, so make sure you'll buy it. Do
you know what? I didn't even know Women's Own still existed.
Nor did I.
My mum read Bella when I was a kid. Bella.
They're doing a feature on me about being a working businesswoman with 3 kids under the age of 5, and do I have any advice for Princess Kate, who's about to give birth to her 3rd child? And I answered all the questions, and it was a really fun interview, but I was kind of sat there going, it's not really comparable, is it? Because there's us in our mad jungle of a house with 3 kids who kind of like draw over the walls and argue and throw poo at each other and all that kind of stuff. They don't throw poo at each other.
They don't throw poo at each other.
Ben likes to wipe his own bum these days, by the way.
Yes.
Anyway, but all that. Catherine, wherever she is these days, the Duchess of...
Excuse me, you do not call her Kate or Catherine or whatever. You call her you can call her Royal
Duchess.
Highness. This is the difference between the BBC and ITV. We're the BBC. You don't call her that.
Anyhow, she's going to have nannies and chauffeurs and people do her hair and makeup every day. I'm lucky if I even brush my hair every day. But anyway, they asked me, do I have any advice for the new arrival? So I had an article, and they've written up 800 words about me, and it's going to go in this week's magazine. So that was quite interesting.
Fantastic, as I like to say.
Where do we find these things?
That's
these
true.
things are my great talk.
Ask me.
So, Alan, what have you done this week?
Well, I actually haven't done that much. Well, it feels like it today. What day is it? Wednesday. I don't feel like I've achieved a lot this week. But 2 things. So first of all, we've had... Now, this is a reverse. Well, actually, it's a reverse, but because our camera is reversed, it's the right way. But anyway, this is the rubber stamp for our new coffee. Mm-hmm. The order is going in. It's going to be live to buy soon. And this is the rubber stamp that we stamp on the bag. It turned up this week. Campfire Coffee. But we are very, very excited about launching that. Other exciting news is
other news?
Hannah joined us this week.
Hannah!
Hi Hannah, we know you're watching tonight. But Hannah is the newest member of the... Well, technically we're Baylily Limited for anyone who really cares about the technicalities.
Becca, very of the campfire coffee.
Don't worry, Becca, we'll make sure you test a cuppa. And Hannah is being brought on to ensure that the Outside Bride has some absolutely fab content in the blog that's up to date, it's relevant, it's exciting, and it's everything else that the Outside Bride blog is going to be and needs to be.
Hannah's got loads of industry experience in weddings and stuff,
Yes.
so she's going to have as much knowledge as we do, or probably more knowledge than we do, because she's worked in the industry for longer. So she's in the office tomorrow. We might have to get her on a quick Facebook Live tomorrow.
Yes,
Hannah.
well, either she'll be on a Baylily Meet or a Facebook Live, I reckon, or both. We will see. We will see. Other exciting news: the Outside Bride Instagram has gone mental. We've only been live on Instagram for
a month.
Well, I was going to say it's less than a month, but about a month, and we are a stone's throw away from 1,000 people following us on Instagram. We've done some amazing chatting and some amazing connecting and all these other social media.
Don't be one of them.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but yes, we've got. We're very excited. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, we are the Outside Bride. And we'll be
Alan.
But yes,
more importantly, look at that, we're in.
That doesn't quite look how I think it should look when you flag it up.
Last week on Ask the Expert, Helen Day, hi Helen if you're watching.
Hi Helen if you're
not,
watching.
That's absolutely fine, catch us on replay. Was talking about paper lanterns, and we said they're a piece of pie to put up.
Gin, Becca. Keep going, Emily, sorry.
What's this?
Hope this is champagne in that glass.
Oh no, definitely gin.
It's a gin day.
Always gin.
Yeah.
And we talked about the bane of our lives, that are paper pom-poms. And since we talked about them, they've been everywhere. We've seen them everywhere. Lanterns and pom-poms have been
even Haskins.
Everywhere. Haskins had a whole heap of them. So today we promised that we were going to sit here and ask an expert whilst we answer your questions. Can't even undo the ribbon. That's a good start.
No.
And we are going to fluff a paper pom-pom to see who's the best at doing them.
So I'm going to have to read the instructions.
You just need to tie a little bow, tie a little knot at the end, because this is what you're
in my marquee days, where I don't always talk about, but one of my business partners agreed with one of the couples booking a wedding marquee that we would do all of their pom-poms for them. Now, just picture, I can't remember now, 5, 6, 7 men.
Burly
all.
Men.
Am I burly?
Well, you're not.
I'm having burly. 5, 6, 7 of us, marquee men, for those who know what I'm talking about, trying to fluff up these pom-poms.
Stop saying fluff.
You said fluff first. So it was not a good sight.
Right.
We do have questions, by the way.
This
is not just the Alan and Emily show today.
Right, no, don't start. So, are you tied on?
Well, yes. Yeah, but I really don't know what to do.
Now let's carry on and answer any questions.
Right.
So firstly, if anyone's on today who's a bride or a supplier who might have any questions that you're not sure about, if you've been asked, I think, by your brides, feel free to pop them up today.
Yeah, chuck them up. We have got a question. I'm going to be honest, I've forgotten who asked it. I'm ever so sorry. Cool. No. So Natalie Natalie, I hope I'm saying that right. Natalie, I've seen so many gorgeous pallet wood signs with what look like vinyl stickers on. Do they stick to the wood okay? I've got the wood all together, sorry, but didn't know whether to paint them or stickers. Well, Natalie, that's a fab question.
It is a fab question.
It is a fab question, because when you're doing an outdoor wedding, these the rustic signs, they look fab. You know, we're pointing in that direction for the bar and pointing in that direction. How have you got pointing in that?
And this is why
pointing in that direction of the toilet. Anyway, we can confirm that as long as the wood is smooth, which pallet wood might not be.
Don't have all the answers, because you don't know.
Oh, go on then. You do that part, and I'll do the next part.
So, there are a few things with vinyl when it comes to signs. And yes, they are fine. And yes, it looks gorgeous, especially if you're going for a really high finish calligraphy style writing. I definitely recommend that vinyl is the way to go. The things to do when you're using vinyl, you can get some really nice cool bit if you want to, you can get it printed yourself, or you can go on something like Etsy or Not on the High Street and get it already pre-printed with the words that you want. What I would say though is make sure that when you're cutting it, because you will often need a scalpel or pair of scissors to cut around the edge of the letters, don't cut too intricately. It will obviously when you apply the vinyl, you'll have the block colour from where your words are, but also they'll be clear. So give yourself a little bit of an edge around it to apply it, because if it's too fiddly, it will start to peel off. Give yourself quite a chunky and larger scale writing. If the palette which you've got is quite rough, it may not stick as well as some. You get more of a smoother wood as well. I would suggest going with a smoother finish on your pallets if that's what you've got, just so it sticks a little bit better when you're applying it. And the other thing I would say, if you're applying vinyl, and I know from experience, no, you need to fluff. You need to fluff. This is not fluff. This is
but I promise you, that's the
when you're
limits of my
applying
creativity.
Some people will be tempted to try and waterproof it and like maybe put a sealant or a varnish or something on top of it. Do not do that. Do not do that at all, because depending on the type of vinyl, and sometimes you get a slightly cheaper version, it will shrink and it won't look as good. So I would always say that if you're going to do it, make sure you cut chunkier than you think you'd need, or and don't varnish or don't seal on top of it. That's nowhere near a pom-pom.
Well, you do yours. That's fine.
But I'm not finished.
Go on.
An alternative to vinyl, if you want high calligraphy style, I would paint it on, like chalk paint it on or chalk pen it on. And if you're not a calligrapher and you're really not quite sure how to do that, a really good cheat is to print it. So go on to Word or Pages or whatever computer or software you use, print out your wording in the calligraphy style that you like, print it reversed, and then, sneaky bit, get a bit of chalk and rub over the entire page, all over the word, put it in reverse, and then with a biro or pencil, go over the word all over the lines, and then the chalk will go onto the wood, stick to the wood, and then you can infill with chalk pen, so you get that look of calligraphy without having to write it yourself and being all into it if you're not that way inclined. So just get a bit of paper, print it out, chalk on the back, rub over it, and then go over the words again, and it will do an imprint for you. That's what I suggest. Alan's got some suggestions.
No, really. Helen, I know. Look at this. I nearly swore then. Look at the state of this. I mean, this is the difference. But we've been going 6 minutes. We've been on pompoms.
And they ripped. Look, rubbish.
So going back to the signs, they do look fantastic. There's a couple of more kind of.
With the lanterns.
No, Emily, don't confuse it. We're on signs. Signs. A couple more DIY orientated ways. So if you've got someone in the family who has a router and likes to route, you could route the letters out and then paint them in or whatever you want. The other thing is, when I was a scout, I still am technically, but when I was a younger scout, sort of 12, 13, we would heat up a metal tent peg and brand the word letters on, and that looks quite nice. It looks very, very rustic. The only other suggestion on the signs is, and I've just told Emily about this, on App of the Day on your Apple iPhones if you have them.
About an Android version.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. It's really irrelevant what phone you got. About 5 days ago, there was a calligraphy training app. So I was just telling Emily about it. She's just gone and downloaded it. So if you really,
it's my mission this year. I am going.
You did say that. You did genuinely say that.
Modern calligraphy.
Yeah. So if you fancy even having a go yourself, there is an app for that. Helen, absolutely. She's gone. I'm glad I didn't go. The lanterns are amazing. You know, you pop them.
This is number one. Honestly, so guys, I said this last week and I'll say it again. We turned up at our friend Tom's wedding last year, and Zoe, his wife, was like,
"Are you still on that?" See, I finished.
But no, that's not. You do it, and then you fluff, and then you puff.
Sorry, Becca said less fluffing.
So yeah, and then that's just one, and then. Literally, Zoe gave me a pile like that and said, "Emily, can you help me?" And I spent 4 hours, and I kid you not, 4 hours in the car doing errands, sitting in the passenger seat, doing this.
Yeah, who cares?
Don't do it.
Don't buy the pom-poms, everyone.
Or
that's a public statement.
Pay someone if you've got a wedding planner. Let them.
Yeah, but that could be you.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
No deal.
Never.
No deal. Okay, so we've answered the signs and we've done the pom-poms, Helen. Well,
that's it.
That's it. Oh. Seems like way too much effort. Don't like him anyway. Yes, Ian, we agree.
They do look good in situ when you've got loads of them, but can you pick up that size again? I think that's a 6-inch one, isn't it?
8?
No, the actual. No. It's the
diameter of the.
So what I would say, going back to this, and I know we mentioned this in last week's Ask the Expert, but we're going to answer it again. It's all very well buying this size, and this is probably the smallest size you'll buy. but you'll need shed loads of these if you're going to use any kind of paper pom-poms. If you're going to do anything like this, again, don't. If you're going to use anything like that, do invest in the larger ones. Go with the 10-inch ones, or there's the 50 centimetre kind of, the big ones, because they'll give you much more impact, cover a lot more space, and you won't have to worry about fiddling with them too much. You'll get the same amount of colour pop with the bigger ones for less money. So I would suggest doing that. Or
yes.
Don't do them at all.
We have a live question.
Ooh.
I love a live. By the way, on our Ask an Expert lives, what we really want to do, we would really like to have a screen share, which we can do with a bride.
We could bring Hannah on.
No, we could do with a bride or a groom, bride and groom, and like just answer a couple of questions with them. We'd absolutely like to do a live chat like that. So just put that in the back of all your minds, and if you fancy it one day, just ping us a message. I didn't say ping, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Corporate. Send us a message or whatever, and we can make that happen. Hannah says, my friend is getting married this year. What outside games would you suggest for kids?
Ooh. Should I like to go first?
No, after you.
Because you're like, I can't think. No, well, it depends where you go.
I've done a lot of talking today.
So outdoor garden games are always great and winning and stuff. So things like Jenga and Connect Fours and all those kind of stuff. I would suggest, though, those kind of things, although great, would always need some sort of adult supervision, because if you've got little kids with Jenga, someone's going to have to always be the one who rebuilds it. But I would say...
What, before they start hitting each other with it? It's not only our kids, right? So okay.
I would say anything. I mean, I've always said getting an entertainer is a brilliant idea anyway. If you're going to spend any money on looking after the kids, bring in a kids entertainer outside to do anything like that. But things like... we've done kids party tents before, getting colouring tables and that kind of stuff, or party packs with really easy games in, or things like giant bubbles, or help me out other
well, what I was thinking is it really depends how old the children are as well, because children at weddings is a semi-taboo subject, because if you ask should children be at wedding or not, you will absolutely get a split room. Some saying, of course our children need to be there, and others going, I don't want to spend £30 a head on a 10-year-old who only wants to eat fish fingers. So Kaylee, you're going to have to watch it back, I'm sorry.
What's this?
Kaylee missed the flower fun. Hold on, sorry, we are mid. We gave up. We threw them on the floor. There we go.
You look like a really good player.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it really depends what age. The options are endless. I mean, you could just get the traditional games, like croquet, rounders, Jenga, Connect Four, drafts, chess, etc., etc.
I would say, sorry, Alan.
No, that's fine.
I would say, don't worry too much about thinking about giving them entertainment, because things at weddings are exciting events anyway. They run around. There are other kids there. They make their own fun. If we get a look at our kids as well as an example. If there are other kids that they don't know, they always make friends and they go off and run around the grounds, and they just like to run, don't they? I think you can be quite consumed in giving them activities, and sometimes they don't need that.
Well, sorry.
No, that's fine. And they don't need to have that level of sort of engagement with things, because they will go and chat to other people. There'll be the meal. There'll be loads of stuff going. So don't worry too much.
There is a big thing. I've got two rules when anyone ever asks me about their wedding. Rule one is, sit down Sunday night with you and your other half with a glass of wine, whatever you're drinking, and discuss how you want your wedding to feel. What you want to look at, what you want to feel. I'm not talking about feeling, happy. I'm talking about like the ambience of the day. Do you want it to be energetic? Do you want to be this? What do you want to look at? What do you want your guests to look at? Wherever, depends on. The second bit is less is more. Less is absolutely more at a wedding. Your guests are not going to know what your table plan looked like. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do a nice table plan, because they look fantastic. Whether you go for a rustic ladder or a photo frame or a tree or whatever, they look fab. But your guests aren't going to remember. They don't know whether you've got a lime wash shivari or a wooden.
You and your lime wash shivari.
I love a lime wash shivari. I love a lime wash shivari with a natural seat pan. They don't know. They don't know the difference. So less is truly more, and that's not just about your budget. That's about not overcrowding your day and going, right, next everyone, next Chinese lanterns, next, and everything else. Oh, don't bring up Chinese lanterns. That's another contentious issue. So genuinely discuss how your day is, and less is more, because you know.
Invest in a bouncy castle.
Well, yeah, we'll just get a bouncy castle.
Get something like a bouncy castle where they can just go mad on it.
Didn't we do that? We did that poll in the Outside Bride a couple of weeks ago. Let me see if I can find that poll quickly, and we'll see who... Emily, fill for me, please.
Today I'm drinking Martin Miller's, and it's a lovely smooth gin. I'm not serving it right today because I haven't got the right stuff in the house. It was a bit of an emergency, but it's best served.
Oh, here we go. Right, luckily I found it.
Strawberries and cracked black pepper.
Yeah, but basically we did a what you're going to have at your wedding, and top of the list with 8 people, they put garden games, Jenga, Connect 4, and actually, you know, on the whole less is more. Just sorting out a box of garden games is absolutely fine. Then we went for photo booth, was the second most popular. Third most popular was an ice cream cart or van. I imagine an ice cream cart would keep the kids entertained.
Or full of sugar.
Or full of sugar. Bouncy castle was actually the least popular, or one of the least popular. Only 2 people said they were having a bouncy castle at their outdoor wedding, and only one, and that was me, said magician. Ours was a weirdo, but it was quite entertaining.
No, he wasn't, no.
Yeah, no, it was fine, it was fine.
Can we talk about our magician for a little bit?
Don't mention it.
I don't even know his name. I don't even know his name
Fair
anymore.
point, actually, I don't know his name.
But I was drawn into him at a wedding fair, and he kind of did this magic trick with a cricket ball, and I was like, wow, we need to book you now. And
just to confirm, Emily rang me from the wedding fair saying, Alan, I need to book this magician for £300.
I did.
So I said, Emily, you've got to be kidding me, darling, that sounds excessive, or words to that effect. And Emily went, no, he's amazing. So I said, I trust you.
Yeah, that was his downfall.
Yeah.
That was his downfall. Don't trust me.
No.
But I'm a bit of a bad judge of character with things like that. And it got to our wedding, and I had forgotten we booked him to be number 1. And number 2, he was kind of milling around outside whilst we're having canapes and drinks. And he was just a bit creepy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No,
he was a bit creepy.
So don't care. Magicians can be good.
Yeah.
Good magician,
his magic was okay. And we've had a recommendation from Becca for kids' entertainment, actually, Sharky and George. It's on the comments if anyone wants to go through and have a look.
Sharky and George, like the cartoon Sharky and George, is that an actual thing?
Epic children's entertainment business. Sounds
cool.
Very creepy. Yeah, guys, so we've had a recommendation for kids' entertainment, so definitely check it out. And that's what we like about the Outside Bride community. Okay, I'm going to put it out there. Unless anyone's got a last minute question, an easy one they want to sneak through, we're going to call it a day. Now, contrary to what you may feel, we haven't had that much to drink this evening. We've only had 1 gin and tonic
I'm just drunk on life.
No, this is the dizziness.
It's Women's Own magazine. It's done it to me. Like the fame's gone to my head.
Mine's the dizzy excitement of the kids being asleep in bed. Yeah, I know, I've jinxed it. So...
if anyone has any burning questions from any specific experts this week, we have got a wealth and bank of suppliers who are waiting to speak to you. If you want to speak to anyone in particular, like we did a few weeks ago with Belinda the Celebrant, please let us know in the comments below as well, and we will line someone up for either during the week or next week.
Fab.
Like landowners, like I don't know, Becca Holden might be.
Do we know any landowners?
Anyone at all has got anything desperate they want to know?
It's not fair to mention Becca without not mentioning it. Holden Farm, Becca, a stunning field on the South Downs Way, highly recommended.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. Right.
That's it.
Done.
So I think.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've got something from it as always. Becca, our pleasure. Thank you everyone for your questions. We will tag those who ask questions in the title to the live as always. And this goes on YouTube. We'd love it if you checked out our channel, youtube.com/c/Baylily Bell Tents, and subscribe.
We would love it if you could help us.
We would love it. And we look forward to speaking to you again same time next week.
Oh my God, we stop doing.
High five that one.
Yeah.
I love that. Take it easy, everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.